In this episode of Vinyl Haul, I've got quite a bit of traditional metal, along with a couple thrash albums, and a new release that intentionally tributes one of the bands that actually created death metal. So, stick around. First up is a demo compilation from American thrash metal band Vio-Lence. This is Kill on Command, the Vio-Lence demos, released in 2023 by Vic Records. So we've got two demos here, one from 1986 and another from 1988. Starting with the 1988 one, since it's on the A side, the vocals are a little lower than I'd like them to be, but overall it's a solid recording. Incidentally, this demo was recorded in a single day, and their label Mechanics Records set up a demo giveaway through magazines, distributing about 3,000 to 4,000 copies, so if you got one of those, congratulations. Both demos have the same 4 tracks, but just recorded at different times, obviously. You get Eternal Nightmare, Paraplegic, Bodies on Bodies, and Kill on Command. It also seems both versions of Bodies on Bodies have the original lyrics, which were somewhat changed on the album version for being a bit controversial. Since this record comes with a lyric sheet, you can compare the two versions pretty easily. Anyways, at the end of the record, we also get a live version of Gutter Slut from 1985, though with the previous vocalist here who has a more standard crossover thrash voice. It's also available on the 1986 2-LP release of the Eastern Front Live at Ruthie's Inn live compilation album from Restless Records, which features a lot of other cool bands such as Laz Rocket, Heathen, Sentinel Beast, Forbidden, back when they were Forbidden Evil, and lots of others as well. Very cool stuff. As for the 1986 demo on the B side, it's a little noisy, which is the reason why the band re-recorded the 4 tracks again in 1988. However, the 86 demo is worth the listen for this earlier incarnation of the band, which doesn't have Rob Flynn yet. Definitely hearing a little delay and other effects on Killian's vocals here, and an odd blend of his usual staccato vocal style, mixed with an almost early Zetro style from the Legacy era. It's kind of interesting. Anyways, vinyl variant here is 1LP, yellow marbled. Yeah. Cool custom labels there. Let's get an insert here. You got an interview with Phil Demmel. It seems like it's probably from around 1988 when they got signed to Mechanic and all of that. And also lyrics on the reverse, which you usually don't get with demo collections. It's actually pretty cool that you get that. Favorite tracks on here are definitely Paraplegic from the 1988 demo and Bodies on Bodies from the 86 demo. Also, track listing on side B is a little out of order as Kill on Command comes before Bodies on Bodies. Some of you might even notice that. So a highly listenable demo set recorded during the glory days of this groundbreaking thrash band. If you're a fan of Vio-Lence, and especially if you love their debut album like I do, I would highly recommend picking this one up. I know I had this on my want list for I think a couple of years now, but when I found it in a store, I just had to grab it. Again, worth getting. Next is the one and only release from American heavy metal band Leather Angel. This is the We Came to Kill EP, released in 1983 by Miami 1992 Records. So the album kicks off with the title track with vocalist Terry O'Leary belting out some snarling and gritty vocals with some occasional metal vibrato. In fact, Terry's voice runs the gamut of aggressive and melodic styles, even skittering into punk and new wave in rare moments, and Need Your Love is a prime example of that. Tracks here are heavy and largely mid-pace with a strong Sunset Strip metal swagger to them, though they unfortunately lack some chorus hooks where they're needed. Guitars are well distorted and many of the riffs are up-tempo, but also have a crunch to them, bringing in plenty of metal sensibilities, so definitely not of the pop metal variety. Production is pretty thin and basement tape quality overall, but not entirely awful. Drums can be pushed back a little in the mix as they occasionally take over when they shouldn't. Album ends with a cover version of Whole Lotta Love, originally from Led Zeppelin, which surprisingly has a great deal of energy and punch to it. Not to mention a little sexy. Yeah, that's about right. Also, it's been purported that Nikki Sixx designed their logo, and while on that subject, it's clear that Leather Angel wanted to be a female Motley Crue, albeit maybe first album Crue more than what came later, notably in the guitar tone, but maybe some of that attitude as well. But to be fair, that was a lot of bands on the strip at the time. Also wanted to mention that for fans of the Penelope Spheris documentary, The Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years, both Terry and bassist Kathy Amante are in the movie as two of the interviewees, which is one of the reasons I grabbed this record. I mean, anything I run into that's related to that film, I'll likely snag. And by the time of their appearance in the film, the band had already changed their name to Jaded Lady, which I think is mentioned in the movie, under which there's some 1986 and 1988 performance footage on YouTube, so definitely check into that if interested. Looks like public access TV clips, but I could be mistaken, but probably not. Anyways, vinyl variant here is 1 LP, classic black. Those nice independent labels there, very cool. Favorite tracks are We Came to Kill and Under Your Spell. Check out both of those for sure. Anyways, you could hear some promise in this band, but they never really did progress past this EP, and they broke up shortly after Decline 2's release as Jaded Lady. Maybe it was just bad luck, or maybe a prejudice against women in metal was in play, but I don't know. Who knows? It would have been cool to see where this band had went had they stuck it out. Anyways, a decent, albeit raw debut that would appeal to fans of this era and scene, as well as those who want to collect some of the better material from the period. So yeah, fun stuff. Next up is the 5th studio album from Spanish heavy speed metal band Iron Curtain. This is Savage Dawn, released in 2024 by Dying Victims Productions. So the album opens with the creepy and atmospheric instrumental track The Aftermath, replete with acoustic guitars and eerie whispering voices. But quickly enough, it's a leap into galloping speed metal frenzy with Devil's Eyes, bringing us gritty vocals rising to gang shouts for the triumphant choruses. Catching a lot of early Metallica meets early Exciter in the music with that era's up-tempo energy and busy drum work, and Gypsy Rocker certainly comes to mind. Solos are likewise energetic and wild, tapping into styles that run throughout the classic speed metal era, which in turn might have had a little Fast Eddie Clarke influence. So yeah, strong dose of Motorhead in here from time to time. You should definitely check out Rattlesnake for a decent example of that. Maybe also toss into the record a fair amount of early Running Wild, both in the music and some of the vocal style. And perhaps a song title like Jericho Trumpet is a bit of a wink and nod to those German maniacs. It's certainly bringing that early Euro power metal into their sound and contributing to some of their epic and melodic moments while never sacrificing heaviness at any point. You might even find a chorus or two catchy enough to sing along with. Anyways, the album bookends with another instrumental, this time the title track. And in 49 seconds, it's more creepy synth and acoustic playing, so a true bookend. Short and sweet. Anyways, vinyl variant here is 1 LP gold. This is the special edition, since it's not in black. Here you are. Also get some inserts here. We got a poster of the album artwork. There you go. Very awesome. Catch that with the light there. Let's see. We also have insert full lyrics for you on one side. Credits, picture of the band on the reverse. And I got a bit of a sticker here. Make sure that's upright for you. There you go. And let's see what else we got here. We also have a postcard. There it is. There you go. Postcards. So interesting in the 21st century. Does anyone do postcards anymore? Just let me know in the comments. Also, since this is the special edition, let's get that out of there. We do have the woven patch. There it is. Also comes in a gatefold here with a nice picture of the band. Very cool. As for favorites, definitely Devil's Eyes, as well as Gypsy Rocker and Evil is Everywhere. Also, music videos are available for Rattlesnake and Devil's Eyes. You should check out Rattlesnake at the Iron Curtain YouTube channel and Devil's Eyes at the Wathem Full Albums YouTube channel. That's NWOTHM Full Albums. So definitely step up from their last album, Danger Zone, which I did cover on this channel before. Production, playing, and songwriting have all increased in quality. Even the band has stated this in interviews, with which I obviously agree. If you dug Danger Zone, you'll likely love this album. Also, fans of classic speed metal combined with some fantastic heavy metal bits will also find plenty to dig about this record. So yeah, recommended. Next is the debut studio album from American heavy metal band Blind Oath. This is Blind Oath, released in 2023 by Horton Records. So a triumphant and melodic intro takes us straight into the first proper track, Emerald Assault, with extremely gravelly vocals, power chords, chug riffing, and dramatic guitar wails, along with some moments of speed soloing and sweet twin harmonics. Lots of variety, both from song to song and within the same song. And speaking of songs, track lengths on this one are often pretty short, many of which not even making the 3-minute mark, for a total runtime of about 24 minutes. Which means some are calling this an EP, though I feel it's just a shorter full length. Interestingly enough, it really does feel like a full album, and I mean that in a good way. But you decide, of course. Anyways, the album progresses with a lot of riff-heavy songs, leading into both chugs and melodic runs, with many of the solos at ludicrous speed, and even some tracks skitter into speed metal territory as a whole. Check out The Visitor for some of that. Really digging the anthemic quality to Blind Oath, which has that great sing-along aspect to it. Also catching an almost doomy Celtic frost vibe in much of Tombs of the Blind Oath, which is totally fantastic. Also, we have a guest vocalist on the song The Flame, none other than Tim Baker of Cirith Ungol, who briefly comes in about 2/3 of the way through the song. Pretty easy to catch Baker's signature voice, and it's definitely great to hear him here. Anyways, vinyl variant on this one is 1 LP white. It is limited to 125 copies. So we have a gatefold with full lyrics and pics of the band. Yeah. As for favorites, definitely Spectral Attack, probably one of my very favorites on this album, as well as The Visitor and Fascinatrix. Also, music videos are out for Fascinatrix, Blind Oath, and The Flame. You can find the first two at the Horton Records YouTube channel, and the third at the Nawatham Full Albums YouTube channel. So I saw these guys live this past June and were blown away by their performance. Enough so that I bought this record at their merch table. Glad I did, because a lot of what I dug about their set is also right here on this album, which definitely has a live energy to it. It also has a solid track variety and never gets stale or stagnant. Definitely check this one out when you get the chance. Next is the 5th studio album from American heavy metal band Lady Beast. This is The Inner Alchemist, released in 2025 by Dying Victims Productions. So majestic power chords open the album with a quick build-up and then straight into the power riffing, and the strong and killer vocals of Deborah Levine, who ranges from razor-sharp belts to soaring wails and vibrato, but always with a commanding tone and delivery. Her voice also works for a lot of the storytelling that's happening in these tracks, akin in spirit to the great Dio himself. Also, riffs are definitely aplenty here, with some serious metal crunch to them. And to evoke Ronnie James again, Deborah likewise has this very effective way of playing off those riffs with her cadences, and that's definitely one of the real strengths on this record for sure. But even the interplay between guitars, which certainly provides some of the power metal side of this band's sound, is certainly noteworthy, especially during harmonic moments, of which there are quite a few. And even bass occasionally surfaces from the mix and injects some really cool runs, and I'm definitely hearing that on Feed Your Fire, but also on other tracks. Really dig the mellow Maiden-esque guitar intro to Starborn, which brings that British band's early sound to mind, including a classic gallop riff passage later on. In fact, there is a healthy dose of Iron Maiden throughout the album, but it doesn't beat you over the head with it. Also, the main riff in Crone's Crossroads is almost the stuff of early Bay Area thrash. Very cool. But if I were to complain about anything on this record, and it's a little complaint, I would have preferred the vocals a little higher in the mix. Though to be fair, they're not exactly buried either. I mean, they're there, but it would have been better to bring them up just a wee bit. Also, the album is slightly front-loaded. That's not to say that the B-side is weak at all. Anyways, cover art on this one is done by Adam Burke, whose style might be familiar to some of you. He's done some amazing covers for bands such as Creeping Death, Spirit Adrift, Vector, and Temple of Void, to name but a few. Definitely look further into Burke's work if you haven't done so already. Great stuff. Anyways, vinyl variant on this one is 1 LP Classic Black. This is the standard edition because it's black and there's no patch. Also got an insert, some credits on one side, and lyrics on the reverse. It's got a poster, it's album art. Very, very nice. There you go. And got a postcard. They love postcards over there at Dying Victims, don't they? There you go. And a sticker as well. Pretty nice sticker there. There you go. Very, very nice. Favorite tracks on this one, definitely Oracle's Omen, very cool track. Also Inner Alchemist and Crone's Crossroads. But especially Inner Alchemist. You should maybe check that one out first. Also, visualizer videos are out for Inner Alchemist, Off With Her Head, and Oracle's Omen. You can watch all of them at the Dying Victims Productions YouTube channel. So a couple years back, I reviewed their Omens EP, which was sent to me by a viewer. And by the way, thank you again, viewer. And needless to say, I did dig it and was prompted to look further into this band. Definitely impressed with this record, with the already established quality of their previous work easily surpassed on this one. Great live band as well, of course. Anyways, this one is an easy recommendation. Check it out. Next is the fourth studio album from American blackened thrash metal band Wraith. This is Fueled by Fear, released in 2024 by Prosthetic Records. So straight away, the headbanging riffs come in with the instrumental intro Asylum, and we're already getting that aggressive thrash mixed with speed metal and some hardcore punk elements as well. This leads into the title track with growly and blackened vocals against relentless chugs, providing some occasional mosh moments. And throughout the album, the tracks are fast, raw, and hugely energetic, though sometimes the rhythms from track to track take on similar patterns, notably in the faster songs. As I said, vocals are gruff, but also distorted and cavernous, and sometimes take on a delivery not entirely unlike early Possessed. Solos vary in their approach, ranging from manic to melodic with dive bombs and rapid fretwork galore. Drumming is fairly dynamic as well, but largely finding a home in various hardcore styles. Given their past efforts and the type of music they're playing, I'm definitely noticing some longer track lengths, not to mention total runtimes that have grown steadily with each album. 14 tracks here, while many are pretty good, I feel the record might have benefited from a little bit of chopping. Maybe leaving 10 tracks of the best stuff would have been the more prudent move. At any rate, this isn't a major complaint because there is still plenty to love on this album. Anyways, vinyl variant of this one is 1LP, white and purple swirl. There you go. There. Let's have an insert. Large picture of the band. And with some credits and lyrics on the reverse. Favorites on this one, Fueled by Fear, great song. Also Code Red, very anthemic and awesome. And of course, Truth Decay. There's also a lyric video available for Heathen's Touch. You can find that at the Prosthetic Records YouTube channel. So given the ever-growing blackened thrash and speed scene, this record is pretty decent, especially with its effective use of hardcore elements in their sound. Either way, if you like bands like Knife or Midnight or even early Hellripper, maybe throw in a little classic DRI as well, then you might get something out of this. So yeah, not too bad. Next up is the third studio album from American progressive death metal band Gruesome. This is Silent Echoes, released in 2025 by Relapse Records. So in case someone out there isn't familiar with this band, Gruesome is a sort of death tribute band that plays their own original content, but in the style and structure of the band Death. This album is certainly no exception. Specifically, Silent Echoes is an homage to Death's 1991 album Human, exploring that band's crossover into more technical and progressive death metal. In fact, it might be easier to think of this album's concept of what sounds like leftover tracks from Death's early 90s era. Anyways, with that, the album opens with Condemned Identity, which begins with a mellow and spacey acoustic passage that quickly jumps to rapid riffing, quick but sudden shifts in drum tempo, and of course Matt Harvey trying his best to channel the late Chuck Schuldiner. Speaking of whom, the album is dedicated to both Chuck and former Death drummer Sean Reinert, both of whom were on Human. Solos are at turns dreamy, noodly, and lightning fast, also bringing some cool guitar interplay between Harvey and Gonzalez. Production is once more handled by Derek Pritchard, who's also done work for Nocturnus AD, Perdition Temple, and Goat Whore, among others. Clearly, there was a real aim to make this sound as if it was recorded in the early 1990s, and with that classic Morrisound sound? Sure. Definitely spot on in that regard, so mission accomplished. I do catch a little bit of modernity sneaking in with some of the drum sound, but that's largely an audio nerd detail. Largely, it is Human 2.0 in most of the production. There are some moments of slight deviation from the template, as they've done before, but also in the manner where those moments get along so seamlessly with the core sound. You should check out the title track for some of that. Also, I wouldn't have minded some more awesome bass lines, such as we get in Voice Within the Void, Astral Oceans, but maybe that's just me. This is also the shortest Gruesome album at about 33 minutes, which is 41 seconds shorter than Human. You know, for those who actually like details like that. Anyways, vinyl variant is 1 LP, Swamp Green. It is limited to 300 copies. Kind of a dark green. Hopefully the light picks that up well. Let's get an insert, lyrics, and credits on one side, picture of the band, and some more credits on the reverse. Favorites on this one, Condemned Identity, great track, also A Darkened Window, and Silent Echoes. But realistically, every track is worth the listen and the re-listen, so just listen to the whole damn thing. And speaking of all three of these songs, music videos are out for Condemned Identity, A Darkened Window, as well as an audio clip for the title track. You should check out all three at the Relapse Records YouTube channel. Also, check out the behind-the-scenes videos on the making of this album, including some insight from producer Scott Burns, who recorded and mixed Human. Those are also at the Relapse Records YouTube channel. Definitely check those out. So, putting aside the listeners who dismiss anything this band does because it sounds like death, which is much of the point, in case you're missing that, you're definitely getting a well-executed death metal album with some real talent from each member. I mean, in many ways, this record is flawless and also doesn't skimp on what makes classic death metal great, which is a huge relief to some of us older folks. Of course, I also love Human, so some of that makes its way into my appreciation of this album, and perhaps some of you might feel the same way. Anyways, this is definitely recommended. So just another item I picked up that I have less to talk about, but is certainly worth showing. This is Hollywood Rocks, the ultimate guide to the 1980s Hollywood, California rock and roll music scene, published by Cleopatra Records in 2003. Features over 200 pages of rare and exclusive photos, flyers, and press releases from the era. It's a pretty cool book. I'll show you a little bit of it here. Of course, you got Guns N' Roses, got to have them. There are some write-ups in here as well, so it's not just photos, which is pretty great. Lizzie Borden. Of course, Poison. I mean, there's a lot of these bands. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are in here too, which is kind of interesting. Got a bunch of flyers for some of the more regional and local acts that didn't make it. There's a whole lot of that in here as well. And yeah, again, more text for those who don't just want pictures and flyers. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. There's the reverse of it for you. I did buy this at Purchase Street Records in New Bedford, Massachusetts. You know I've been there before. I've done a few videos on the place, including an episode of the Record Store Report. You should go check that out when you have the chance. Roger, the owner of the store, whom I've known for a little while, he mentioned this book to me as he was ringing me up, and I just couldn't pass it up. So it's a little bit of an impulse buy. I also do have what is the de facto companion vinyl box set to this, which I have back there. It's pretty decent. So yeah, glad I snagged this. It's a little heavy on the heavy metal this time, which might have something to do with me picking up a few of these records at the Stormbringer 3 Metal Festival. If you haven't watched my 2-hour special on the event, including clips from all 16 bands, you should do that after this video. Very good stuff. Trust me, I'm the producer. Anyways, let me know what you think of the albums that I just talked about. Maybe you have other favorites from these bands. Maybe you want to chat about new stuff you're spinning these days. Leave all of that and anything else that comes to mind in the comments below. Of course, if this is your first time to my channel, my name is Matt. This is the Accusation Network, where each and every week I do videos on metal vinyl collecting, but also classic and modern metal in general. If you like the sound of that and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would really love it if you did just that. You know, push a button. What does it take, right? Also, maybe like this video and share out this and other videos of mine with your friends on social media. And of course, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.